another series of races we're going to be doing today in Forza Motorsport. We're going to be doing the S class, and our first race will be in my Richard Petty um, Porsche GT2 at the Mid-Ohio racetrack. And I check the event, see that, oh, it's overcast wet. Well, I guess I better go in and make sure that I got on the right kind of tires. And so I switch over to wet tires. And get ready for qualifying. And I head out on the track to see how this thing is going to perform. And tires are pretty cold, track is pretty wet, and I'm all over the place. But thankfully, we haven't come to the beginning of the timing light yet. So, trying to get up to speed where the timing starts right there. And this Porsche is really sliding a lot. And, you know, I had to like slam on the brakes right there in order to not go off the track. I almost went off the track right there. And I'm just trying to qualify. There's a lot of tight, slower, corkscrew, squirrely kind of sections on this track. And it's challenging enough when it's a nice sunny day and the track is dry. This track is quite a bit more challenging when the conditions are not ideal. You're still able to carry a bit of speed through corners, but you slide around a lot. So I'm coming around to complete my first qualifying lap and I end up being fourth, and I look at the time that I have, and that's actually nowhere close to times that I've laid down in the past. And here on transitioning over to the third qualifying lap, I've already got severe tire wear, so I'm having to slow down quite a bit, and I decide to dive into the pits and change tires. Even though qualifying is over, I go into the pits and I put on a fresh set of tires. And then go through the waiting period for the race itself to actually start. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the fellow competitors that are involved in this race with me. And as it turns out, there's not that many. I mean, there's a few. There's like 15, but there's not that many people in this race. We got an Audi on the pole, and a GT3, and a Buick Regal another Porsche, um, a Ford, a BMW M1, a Ferrari, a Toyota Supra, another Ferrari, and yours truly in his GT2, a GT40. Oh, we've got Speed Racer. Okay, he's in the Mach 5. And there's a Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile Somerset. And a Bush Racing Ford from Australia. So we'll see how this thing is going to go in this absolute downpour. Because the conditions have gotten considerably worse than they were in qualifying. And everybody's jockeying for position. That little Capri, it flew past me. Same thing with the Oldsmobile. And I'm braking heavy for this corner. Getting down to like 50 miles an hour. And usually, there's old Speed Racer. I think he slid off a bit, but he came back on. And I'm just basically trying to keep up with these guys, and this thing is just sliding all over the place. As evidenced by that Ford that's in front of me. You can see the way that he's going through the corners. He's halfway sideways. And this Ferrari here, he got passed by a couple of people, and I almost go off track there. And here's your friendly neighborhood Speed Racer banging into the side of me. And now I try to gain some speed down this short straightaway before you have to brake with this left-hander. There's another Ferrari that went off track, but he was able to get back up to speed. And then again, heavy braking for this corner. And then you can get up to a bit of speed on this back straightaway, even in the rain. But you gotta slow down quite a bit at the corner. It's at the end of this straightaway. All the way down to second gear. And then this tight left-hander, you can do it in second gear if you brake a lot, but you can get around the corner better in first gear. Same thing with this one. At least wise in these conditions. If the track was dry and you were using medium compound, you can easily go through those corners in second gear. But not in these rainy conditions. And so I'm doing my best to just basically try to stay on the track, because every corner that I'm going through, the back end on this Porsche, it's just sliding all over the place. And the modifications that I have done to this particular car, one of the modifications that was not done was an upgrade to an adjustable rear wing. So I can't apply more downforce to the rear wing. Now it does have a wing and there is downforce, that comes with that wing. But with the upgraded one, you can apply more downforce and get a better grip on the rear end. And there's always a balance between when you're doing upgrades on the cars. Are you going to go for the performance upgrades, or you're going for the handling upgrades? And when I put this car together, I was going for the performance and the speed. This car actually is really, really good at Indianapolis, but it's not so good at Mid-Ohio. And so we're heading into the fourth lap, and I'm not gaining or losing, and I'm just going into the grass there. Now that guy, he goes into the grass as well, but he's able to get through there pretty fast, but he brakes and I slam into his back bumper, and then he ends up swinging wide, and I'm able to get past him. So I move up to fifth, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to maintain that through the rest of the race. We'll see how that goes. He dives in front of me there and knocks into me, and I end up knocking into him, and we're both trying to make it through this corner without going off track. And I'm able to get through this corner a little faster than he can, but he ends up clipping my rear quarter panel, sending me off track. Now he went off track as well, and I was actually able to get back on the track before him, and so I maintained my fifth position. And I go off track there, and he's able to get past me, 2 cars past me. And I go into the pits to change tires, because as you can see, I'm sliding all over the place. Now this ends up being somewhat detrimental to me, because nobody else in the race goes in the pits to change their tires. So this moves me back quite a bit. I end up coming out of the pits in 8th place, and there's only 1 lap left. Well, a lap and a half. And I do have a bit more stability, but everybody else is quite a ways in front of me. And I was in 8th, but I just jumped up to 7th, so somebody quit. I'm not exactly sure, excuse me, I'm not exactly sure who, but somebody quit, because I just automatically moved up to 7th, and I see this guy in front of me, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I can get past him. I do have 1 more lap to go, and I have fresher tires, so let me see if I can reel this guy in, but he seems to be gone pretty good, so those hopes are somewhat swiftly dashed as I make my way around this really slow corner leading into the transition to the front straightaway. And now we head into the last lap of the race, and I'm not seeing anybody in front of me nor anybody behind me. So, and I suppose somebody else quit, because now I see that I'm in 6th place. Now, this of course is by no great achievement on my part. It's other people. Some people that do these races, I think that if they don't get to a certain level, they just bail. I always try as best I can to finish the races because I don't like to get DNFs. I may not win, but I finished. And we got about a minute and a half left in the race, so I think I have enough time on the clock to make it back to the start finish line so I don't receive a DNF. And I will make it into the top 10. However, that's kind of easy to do when there's only 8 people in the race. So that's my race at Mid-Ohio in the rain in my GT2 Porsche. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you on the racetrack.